Welcome to the RPGamer review of Atelier, Lydie and Suelle, the Alchemists and the Mysterious Painting. This is written by Nix, read by Breath, and the video is edited by Airfrog. As the primary reviewer of Atelier games for the site for a decade plus, perhaps it was inevitable that one day I'll hit a wall and burn out on them. That wall appeared in 2018. I was meant to review Atelier, Lydie and Suelle, the Alchemists and the Mysterious Painting back when it released. But I couldn't muster the energy to play it. With Atelier Furious leaving a bad taste in my mouth, I had newfound trepidation that perhaps the series and I were going through an awkward breakup. I went through a brief period when I had no excitement for the series until Atelier came along and renewed my faith. However, not reviewing Lydie and Suelle back when it came out still lingered in my mind, and I decided it was time to boot it up and see if it was me not appreciate it or burn out. At 14 years old, twin Lydie and Suelle have a passion for alchemy and a useless father who struggled to pay the bills. When the girls realize how much they are financially struggling, they decide to build their alchemy skill and hopes of not only bettering themselves but also putting food on the table. While practicing their alchemy, the girls stumble upon a mysterious painting in their basement and are transported to a new world. Finding rare materials that could help create wondrous items and build their atelier's reputation. As Lydie and Suelle move up the alchemy ranking system, they soon learn there may be more mysterious painting than the one they discovered in their father's basement. The mysterious sub-series focuses heavily on a slice-of-life narrative where there isn't an overarching evil to be slain, choosing instead to detail the day-to-day lives of the heroines. Lydie and Suelle's story is one of the twins attempting to find themselves and where their skill lie in alchemy. They have also had the hardship of losing their mother at a young age and having to parent their father, who may in fact be withholding information from them. The main narrative is very thoughtful and sweet, as it shows how Lydie and Suelle want to help their family, friends, and community, while also recognize the challenge that come with such a goal. The story involving their mother is simple, yet heartfelt, drawing player into the grand mystery surrounding her and the mysterious paintings. While the main narrative is sweet and straightforward, the game struggles with the direction it wishes to take. The issue with slice-of-life stories is that when too many stories are present, it can detract from the main story that the writer wishes to tell. That is apparent here, as there are a ton of pacing issues that leave the player meandering between the various characters' plotline with no clear guidance on how to move them forward. While many favorite characters returns, such as Sophie, Furious, and Plashta, their story showcase their growth, while new characters like Matthias are not given equal treatment, as his story in particular and not with a bang but a fizzle. It's not that the stories are bad, it's more than characters lack equal treatment in their importance, meaning one has to slug through the characters they don't care about to get the juicy stories for the one they do. A large part of Lydie and Suelle is about their personal growth and their relationship to their community. The twins can build their reputation by completing specific tasks in their ambition journal, which then help move their rank up so they can achieve the goal they promised their mother, to run the best atelier in the kingdom. These tasks can range from defeating specific monsters, crafting items, to simply visiting certain areas on the map. While the girls are giving a stipend at the beginning of each new rank, money is surprisingly difficult to come by in the game, as the main way to collect it is through completing the very repetitive notice board task. Many of the unique ambition tasks are easy to complete, though as the girls move up in rank, it becomes more challenging and not in a good way. The game does not do a good job of explaining how it inherits specific, unique threats for crafting, or even just finding items with the threat in question. There is a lot of guesswork that sometimes can feel super rewarding, but often it's more of an exercise in frustration. Despite some questionable explanation of mechanics, the alchemy system in Lydie and Suelle is quite robust. Building off its predecessor, Atelier Tetris is back, as players gather ingredients from different locations to synthesize them by flipping and rotating components to create a final product. Players select the item they wish to make from the discovered recipes and are presented with a grid in which each ingredient has its own effect, color component, and properties. Players can mix and match ingredients to create powerful items and sometimes even craft new recipes through the experimentation process. Players can also add catalysts to the item they are crafting, which offer fantastic boons such as better quality and quantity of items and more unique effects. Recipes can be learned from books, though player will also get new recipe through item creation. Still, sometimes the information can be difficult to decipher. Ingredients often end up with randomized properties, and making new items transfer those properties over. However, the game doesn't make it easy to figure out how to obtain some of the more unique traits, leaving the player to filter through all the traits and hopes that perhaps they can find the correct one. The alchemy system is addictive as always, and even with some of the flaw in item creation, there's still constant desire to keep trying, failing, and trying again. While alchemy is the core of an Atelier games, the series has absolutely upped its battle system over the years. Unfortunately, Lydie and Suelle fall in the middle of the pack, as it's very serviceable, but not all of its ideas are fresh. Player will have 3 attackers and 3 support. When a character attack, use a skill, or use an item, there is always a chance that the character in the back row will use a support ability. New to the series is the extra mix ability, which can only be used by Lydie and Suelle, where the girl can transform an item into something grander, such as taking a basic bomb and make it more explosive, or having a healed item that can only heal one person become something that heals many. Extra mix is a great concept, but it often feels random, so the player cannot exploit it. The other added ability is the combination attack, which is obtained by completing different characters' side stories. Once the characters have unlocked the combination attack, the attack and support character can build a gauge, and once it's at 100%, players can perform the attack. Where this fail is not all combinations feel equal. Pairing Sophie and Lydie can make the gauge move quickly, while pairing Ferris and Sue can feel much slower. a decent battle system overall, it's just hard to not compare it to the Rise trilogy or even the older Dusk game, where speed was a big part of the battle system design. Though Descent, Lydie and Suelle's combat overall just feels so much slower than other games in the series. One area where Lydie and Suelle falter is the amount of backtracking that really pads the overall game time. While the concept of walking around paintings is novel, not being able to fast travel to different areas, especially in the late game, is such an hassle and makes for a lot of wasted time. Since the game's story already has pacing issues, the constant backtracking makes certain chapters feel more like a slug than others. The graphic and Lydie and Suelle are colorful and pleasant to look at. Even with every mysterious painting popping with its own personality, from the spooky wood having punking lantern to light the way to wandering around under the sea, every inch of the game visually shines, making it a joy to explore. The PS4 version, unfortunately, has some case of oddly placed invisible walls, and there is some stiffness in some of the character cutscenes, though these issues do not fully detract from the experience. The soundtrack is a lovely mixture of lo-fi sounds that match the aesthetic of the area that the twins are exploring, with the last few areas having the most memorable track. All of the game voice acting is in Japanese and the actors do a great job of bringing their characters to life. The concept of traveling through painting is such a unique concept and the game highlights this through its audiovisual. Just how original everything in Lydie and Suelle world is. Despite all of the above problems, I can fault Lydie and Suelle for the great Atelier burnout of 2018. While I absolutely needed space from the series, I truly believe playing the game years later has given me a fun appreciation for it. It's definitely up there with Sophie 2 as being one of the better games in the Mysterious sub-series. While the perfect project wasn't synthesized, Lydie and Suelle was a step in the right direction for the series, blemishes and all. RPGamer give Atelier, Lydie and Suelle, the Alchemists, and the Mysterious Paintings 3.5 out of 5. For more detail, hit up the link in the description below. For more video content, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitch for daily stream of your favorite RPGs. Join on the discussion at rpgamer.com on Discord. And for the latest in RPG news, head over to rpgamer.com.